All right, everybody, welcome back to the Friday Night Prepper pre-party show. If you don't know our guests tonight, you must be hiding under a rock or you're watching all the wrong channels on YouTube. Really excited. I don't know why it's taken me 3 years to get these guys on the channel, but we're going to have a good time tonight. We're going to go through a couple quick announcements first. If you're brand new to the channel, welcome. If you enjoy the stream, please consider subscribing. And that's me. Got it. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Sorry about that. That was me. So if you're brand new to that channel, please consider subscribing and hitting that like at some point. And check out the description. I've got some coupon codes, discount codes for some products that preppers usually like. And a couple quick rules. Please be kind to the moderators. None of my moderators are paid. They're all giving their time freely. No racism, no sexism. Other than that, let's have a good time. And next Friday, just real quick announcement, I probably will stream, but it's going to be a quick one. And then next Sunday, not this Sunday, but the Sunday after, I will be on Penny Pinching Preppers channel as a guest there. So I will, of course, remind you about that next weekend. All right, let's go ahead and introduce my guests, who I assume you all know. We've got the Mike and the Livingston Man, Hudson Valley Prepping Survival. How you guys doing tonight?
Wonderful, Sarge. Thanks so much for having us, man. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys coming on. I don't know why it's taking me so long to do this.
Oh man, I don't know. We like come up together through the YouTube gambit, I was actually talking with Livingston Man earlier, well, Dr. Livingston this evening. And I was talking with him earlier that you're definitely one of our oldest subscribers, man.
Cool. I love it.
Yeah.
And we always follow each other on Instagram and whatnot. But so besides YouTube and Instagram, where can people find you guys?
Facebook for sure. You can find us on Facebook. And I think we might be making a transition shortly and doing some Patreon videos. There's, YouTube's really clamping down on things, and I think things still need to be talked about.
Yeah.
So we're contemplating perhaps a separate live stream altogether. Total different raw content over there on Patreon. So that's in the works in the future.
So let's swing back to the censorship thing in a minute, because I definitely wanted to hit on that tonight. But I wanted to lead in with something big. So first of all, you guys had the earthquake today. I saw that. I'm glad you guys are both okay.
Wild.
Little unusual for your area, right?
Absolutely. This is a place where I've never felt the ground move unless I was like jackhammering, and it was interesting because you could kind of hear it before it started, and it sounded like the wind was blowing, because yesterday here it was extremely windy, and it was just cranking yesterday. And I was like, wow, man, the wind's like shaking the house. And I look outside and all the plants are still, and I'm like, what the heck is that? And I look down the hallway and I can see the walls starting to move left and right. And I was like, everybody out of the house, and we ran out into the yard, and you could hear it, kind of leave the area.
Yeah.
Definitely weird for this area. This is not something that we experience frequently at all. This is a very rare event for us.
Wow. Lee says his daughter said you guys just got an aftershock. I don't know how close she is to y'all.
Yeah, they're the last one I saw was a little while ago. It was a 4.0 in New Jersey as well. So I think that's a really big one for this area, especially for that little Ramapo fault line. So we may feel some rumbling for quite some time here now.
Yeah. So now you guys are Titan knew where I was going with this. So you guys are in the path of totality for Monday, right?
Yep. Well, no, we are actually just south of it, but we're actually going to travel north to go experience totality.
All right. So what do you think about this? Are we all going to die?
Maybe on Wednesday, but not today.
Not today.
Not today. Not today. But there's a lot of correlation with folks talking recently about the eclipse and the magnetism effects that it has over Earth. So it's feasible that these things could happen, could potentially do something. Oh, there it is. 6 p.m. aftershock, heard the house crack and didn't feel the second one. Yeah. If it was 6 p.m., I was in the car, so for sure I probably didn't feel it.
Yeah. Yeah, so my concern with we were in the path of totality here in Charleston in 2017, and we had, people were like, well, what about, they're activating the National Guard. They had them on standby here
Mhm.
in 2017. It was all the same stuff, and people panicking. The biggest risks, of course, is always when you get large groups together,
Yeah,
that you could have some bad player who decides like that they're going to take advantage of it. So that certainly is always a possibility. Unfortunately, these days, whether you're going to a football game, baseball game, going to watch fireworks somewhere, or going to the eclipse. So hopefully, everybody keep your head on the swivel and be safe, but enjoy yourselves too.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, it's for me. The eclipse isn't really a once in a lifetime event. I can remember seeing previous eclipse growing up, not necessarily totality, but partial eclipses, and experiencing that with the kids. That was pretty cool. But it's not something that I'm afraid of. I just want to get to experience totality, and the alignments that are happening, man. The celestial alignments, the comet that will be visible during the eclipse. I mean, it's going to be an incredible sight to see. So I'm really looking forward to it. And if bandwidth permits, we'll try and squeak out a live stream if we can.
That'd be awesome.
But
Yeah.
I just feel that the forecast is looking great for us right now.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how those are, man. They're 24-hour predictions are 50-50 at best. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that we can get to totality and see this awesome spectacle and share it with everybody who can't be there or who is stuck in cloud cover.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys can, and more importantly, I hope you enjoy yourselves. I know what you're talking about with the bandwidth thing. I'm going to Blade Show in June, and I would love to stream directly from Blade Show, but I know it's going to be a nightmare trying to get a signal.
Yeah. Got to have a little hot spot in your pocket, Sarge.
Yeah. I'm in one of the hotels very close to Blade Show, but that like everybody's going to be doing the same thing, trying to get their videos out and stuff. So
Yep.
do the best we
He
can.
who wins gets the connection.
Livingston, man, what do you think? Are we in any danger on Monday? We should probably ask the
experiment with those goggles has gone on long enough. Whatever blue rays and electromagnetic pulses are coming off this television, with these glasses on, you can't see them. I couldn't see the screen. I was in my zone. I was staring at a white screen. I was just listening. But do I think we're in any danger with this eclipse thing?
Yeah.
I think the points you made were valid. It's really, are you really in any danger anywhere? Could you fall off a ladder, get hit by a car, get hit by a meteor? I think it's about 50-50. You're either in danger or you're not.
Agreed.
And I think it depends on where you go.
Mm-hmm.
I think it depends on like what sort of crowds around you. It does involve a lot of head on a swivel, a situational awareness, and just being vigilant. But yes, go have fun and do your thing. But like, what I've been hearing people say is that for one, if you got to do this like the airport, you got to show up early and expect to leave late.
Yeah.
The crush at the moment is going to be ridiculous, like being in a giant music festival in some places. If you're not the type of person who wants to get caught up in a mosh pit and a push and shove, you might want to make sure you're at the perimeter of any such possibility. You pack stuff in your car if you're traveling away from home. Make sure you're going to be able to be all right. You might get stuck in traffic. There's going to be a lot of people all going the same way at once. Snarling up things. It's going to be an evacuation scenario, if I'm right.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
pretty much.
There's things to think about here. This isn't just some go party and stare at the sun thing. There's going to be a lot of people. People are stupid, and there'll be a lot of them under the influence of a full moon and gravitational pull.
Yeah, it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something. But if especially preparedness minded folks, if you're going to check this thing out, even if it's locally, bring some supplies with you, bring something. Don't go empty handed, because
your trip home especially might take you a lot longer than you think it's going.
Yeah. And keep an eye on your gas tank, man. Keep your gas tank topped off.
Beware of price gouging and or convenience pricing, I believe is the modern term for it.
Yeah. Or congestion pricing.
That's
now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we love that stuff here.
There's going to be a heavy police presence in a lot of these places. They seem to be very worried about, I don't know what they're worried about, the eclipse or people's response to it.
I think it's just mass amounts of people is really the
But
worry.
I mean, they're closing schools. Some people are getting off of work, this, that, the other thing. They're planning for this massive influx of people going one way and then going another way. It's just like Woodstock coming to like this band across the United States, you know? So,
yeah. What time does Woodstock show up in your neck of the woods?
It will be an event for sure across the whole country. So, you know, it's going to be something to remember as long as we just act right out there, please.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So yeah, Hobby's got it. Don't forget the milk and bread.
Yep. Exactly.
Every emergency,
you got to have it. Yeah. So when it happened, we had the totality in 2017, basically, we went to Mrs. Sargent and I went to a friend's house. We left super early, brought everything we needed. You know, once we got to their house, we were like, nobody's going anywhere until everybody, you know, until the traffic and everything is died down. And so we just hung out with them, had some drinks, had some food, had a good time, and we were away from the crowds, which was awesome. They closed. I remember they closed a lot of the parks here because you had to buy tickets in advance to go to the community parks, and like that just doesn't happen except in something like this.
Right. Just trying to perhaps control the influx of people and maybe slow it down a little bit, because you know people left unchecked do some really stupid stuff.
A herd mentality takes hold, and it can be uncontrollable.
Yeah.
Yep. And yeah, a couple people brought up, you know, CERN is refiring the Hadron Collider, and NASA's deciding to launch rockets. So just to make it all a little bit more fun, you know.
If they suck us into another dimension, I hope it's one that has some common sense and a little bit of normalcy.
Yeah. I don't think we're getting that.
It's the next level. We're going to get the next level of crazy, Livingston, man. The next level of crazy.
I think we're going to get sucked into that dimension where the lizard people rule. That's where we're going.
At this point, I'm like, what do you want me to do, you guys?
We might be able to work with them, Sarge.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not like you'd be able to, if there was an advanced civilization, it's not like we'd be able to fight them, you know, like our weapons would be like throwing stones at them, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
So your best bet is to beg to be like a pet or something, you know?
They start doing controversial things like giving people health care, like teaching us how to like be peaceful, and everybody's like,
do
away with that stupid new math.
Just teach us the alien ways, you know?
Yeah. Bring on the telepathy, man.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to circle back to this censorship thing. I don't know if you guys have been following my posts on Instagram, but I have been pissed off, man. Just the nonsense. It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
It really only hurts them because if our reach was allowed to go, it's only going to bring these companies more revenue, but they want to put you in a bottle and keep you on the shelf and only pop the cork once in a while to let it breathe and then put it back in. It's terrible. It's terrible. And I've noticed that a lot of platforms now have gone to this pay for views type of thing. They want you to promote your content. They're holding it back because if all they have to do is let it go and it'll do just fine, but they want to restrict that because they can get a couple dollars out of you. It might be worth it, Sarge. If you can play their game against them and take every nickel that you get monetized from Instagram or YouTube and put it back into that, you may be able to see a tenfold increase. I don't know. I do this more for the love of it than the economics.
Yeah.
But it is a slap in the face to folks who put in all the hard work,
Yeah. So I have done a couple promotions. I've got one going right now for a video I did about silver and gold. And it does help. I mean, you get some growth out of it. And what I would recommend for people is if you're going to pay to promote one of your videos, then make sure it's one of your best videos, so you're getting the most bang for the buck out of it. And, it helps, but I don't make a ton of money off this channel. I can't do it all the time, so I might run a couple ads a year. See,
You know,
but
folks think that we're bigger than we are. A live stream for us brings in, aside from donations from subscribers, because that's what really keeps us afloat, is when the subscribers hit the money button. 17, 18 cents for an hour-long live stream. And that's about it. That's about it. So it's not like we're rolling in the cash here, folks.
Yeah.
we're self-funded, self-produced, self-taught, self everything, you know, with some good help from some companies that, you know, will throw us things here and there to like show off and stuff.
Yep.
Which we will never hide behind the fact that we don't consider them paid endorsements, because if their stuff sucks, they're going to hear it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They send, we don't solicit. We're not like, please send us things. We need, you know what I mean? My point being is that anybody can do this. And I always say this, all you people that have channels, you can do this too. The more of us, the better. When the censorship crowd, I'm friends with a fellow on Facebook who is a contractor, and he was just having a friendly discussion among like builders and contractors. And he said something like diagonal lattice is ugly. And Facebook wouldn't let him post it because he said the word ugly. It made him change it, and it offered him suggestions of
how to change it and reword it so that it's a lot nicer.
When he then changed it to diagonal lattice is unattractive, it was allowed. No, and they invested millions of dollars in a system that this is what it does.
Yeah.
You know, what's the point of that? I mean, I don't really get that level of censorship. Some messages shouldn't be heard, in my opinion. I'm a constitutionalist, and I get it. You can go ahead and say whatever you want, but it doesn't mean that anybody has to like it or listen to it.
Yeah.
This is the opposite of that. This is sanitize everything to where your point can't really even be made.
And it's the AI. It's it's AI bots that are basically doing the first line of defense on that stuff anyway, and they screw up all the time. I got a 10-day ban on Facebook, and you guys are gonna love this. So it was a prepping group, and there was a discussion about power outages, and somebody was talking about using candles. And so I chimed in and I said, just make sure that you have somebody in the room so that you don't burn your house down. And I got a 10-day ban for that.
Inciting violence.
Yeah.
The AI thought I was threatening this person
to burn somebody's house down. Yeah.
Mrs. Livingston called a 30-day because she was like, I'm just going to go slap Livingston man in the head. And she called 30 days. I tried to appeal. I'm like, listen, I'm the victim here, and I'm not pressing charges. What are you doing?
You can't win.
So then, if for people who don't know, if this ever happens to you, to appeal it, now you got to load up your driver's license and like all this other stuff. And I'm like, forget it.
Like,
it's not worth it.
No.
Yeah,
forget it. I'll take my 10 days in Facebook jail. You know.
Yep.
The worst offenders, you can't use Messenger or anything. They lock you out real bad, and it's like, all right, geesh. Or you get that old you catch 30 days for something you posted like 4 years ago, and you're like, what did I do? And they won't tell you.
So that's what happened to me this week with Instagram. Is they went through, and I've been promoting since I've been on Instagram, like 4 years now. I've been promoting knives, and there's a couple companies that I work with and stuff.
Absolutely.
And then all of a sudden, I never had a problem with it. All of a sudden this week, they nailed 5 of my posts and were like, this violates our content agreement, blah, 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 blah. So I could have appealed it.
Knives?
Yeah, they're just pocket knives.
I know. What the heck, man?
Yeah. And so and then it doesn't make any sense, because then you start scrolling and you're like, well, this person's posting knife content. This person's posting knife content. This person's posting firearms. Why are you picking on me?
Yeah. Because you got that prepping in your name. That's why.
Yeah. I think so. I think so.
I'm telling him, I'm like, we need to change the name to like Hudson Valley, like not prepping and survival. I can assure you of that.
Yeah.
Welcome, Hudson Valley campers.
Hudson Valley outdoorsmanship.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what it's going to take to. I don't know if they'll ever remove the chains from the organic that social media used to be. That's all I really hoped for, was just to have an organic shot and put out what I thought was the best content that we could create. and
That
let it
MySpace guy let you code your own page, have music, didn't care
we all
what you
turned
said, and we
on him.
turned again. We said we rejected his message.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
what we get, Sarge.
Yeah.
We hated what was that guy's name? Tom. We hated Tom because
Yeah,
he
it was
told
Tom.
the truth.
Yeah, and I have good luck on Twitter. I get some good reach there, and they don't censor everything. There is still a little bit of censorship there, but it's not too
It's
bad.
called X, and I kind of wish you wouldn't dead name it like that.
Oh.
Sorry.
I find it ironic that Twitter is the one thing you are allowed to dead name. No one even questions it, but do it to Caitlyn or any of the other ones, and it's a big deal. You're going to court.
Yeah.
But,
I need to go to some sensitivity training for that.
I think
I'm
you
sorry.
should, and YouTube can offer that. I don't know if you've been offered the course.
Yeah, we had to take well, I took
Proudest moment of my life,
medical misinformation training from YouTube. That's still hanging over our head.
We haven't completed the course. We were kind of on just moral principle won't, but
Oh,
hilarious.
Yeah, we
I
left
laughed.
them-
I cackled.
What do the
out
kids
loud.
call it nowadays? Left them on open.
Yep,
That's
we
what
left them
did.
on read.
Wow. Unbelievable. So I wanted to jump back here. So Jay Creature, it is not a military title. That's a nickname I've had since college. Welcome to the channel, by the way. So when I was in, just briefly, because there's probably some new people here who've never been on my channel. So Sarge, when I went into college, I was in a fraternity, and there was a brother there that they called the Little General, and apparently, like, I was kind of a little tyrant like that too. And so they said, well, he's like the Little General. Let's call him Sarge, and it just kind of stuck.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But I work with first responders and I work with veterans. I'm a therapist by trade, for those who might be wondering a little bit about me if you're brand new to the channel, and love my job. I do trauma-based therapy, love my job. I get to work with the heroes. And honestly, this is what I'm doing right now is probably the happiest in terms of career, happiest I've ever been in my life.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
That's
I look
awesome.
forward to going in every day and helping those guys and women too. Yeah.
That's fantastic, bro. That's absolutely fantastic. And I think the world is going to need a lot more people like you in the future, especially if things keep kind of going on the trajectory that they are. We're all going to need a little mental health help at some point in time, man. The pressure can get to anybody. So
Maybe
100%.
Don't that's just a lesson for everybody out there. Don't be afraid to reach out for help, man.
Yeah.
Hunter, who's wearing the coat, bro? Who thinks the therapist? Come on, it's not hard.
Absolutely.
He's not smart, but he's strong.
Yeah. So where do you guys think about, like, after this eclipse, right? We got to get through this weekend.
Yep.
Then what are we looking at? Like, what are you guys preparing for? What do you think people need to be preparing for 2024?
The summer of love, baby.
Honestly,
man, is it going to be a good one?
Honestly, for me,
this whole thing going to happen in November. It's going to be a big deal.
That's kind of what I'm gearing towards.
Dominate everything.
You know, the more chatter you hear, the more both sides are threatening violence. And I don't want to be any part of that, man.
No, you know what, they're not.
I agree.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but it's the media is saying that people are, and then people are like, look, they're doing it, and they're like, no, they're not. No, they're not.
Could all be orchestrated.
Remember, like January, like 4 years ago, like the media hyped up this big thing, and then these idiots went and like believed it, and then like they called it a thing, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. If we get too far down that rabbit hole, YouTube will flick that switch. You know.
Oh yeah,
we're pretty good at going around them, Sarge.
we've been dodging potholes.
My first rodeo. I don't even know who owns YouTube. So easy to call out Zuckerberg.
It's Google. It's Google. Yeah.
And who is that?
Alphabet Inc., my friend.
Them.
Yes.
It's probably like, in the South Park, when it's like, if you actually got to the top of the chain, it'd be like some giant robot or something,
I'm pretty sure Google is like a Zach's computer from Fallout. It's it's one of the first AIs that's just been getting stronger the whole time.
Yeah. So my thoughts on all that is, yes, the media stirs crap up.
Mm-hmm.
They make you think everything is going on right outside your door. Yeah, it's not. It's like some people did a thing in a place and they amplify it to this is everywhere. This is life now.
Yeah,
and this is what gets people anxious.
Yeah, and we've talked about this a lot on this channel before, that the media if you watch too much of that and you're not questioning things, right? If you don't have critical thinking skills, the media can easily manipulate people and make people think that their neighbor is the enemy, right? That their neighbor, whether it's the boomer or the Gen Z kid with blue hair, or the person who's got a different skin color, or a person who worships a different religion, they just manipulate all that stuff to make people think that, because you belong to a particular ideology or culture, that you're the problem. And we're all divided against each other. And as long as that happens, the game is afoot, right? Like, legislators are taking money hand over foot from these fist over hand from these lobbyist companies. Military industrial complex is getting billions and billions. Biofarm getting billions and billions of dollars. Chemical companies that are building pesticides, and they know this stuff is bad for people's health, but they can bypass it with a little bit of money.
Bypass.
It's true. It's true.
And the average person is just worried about that kid with blue hair next door that you think is the problem, and you don't see what's really happening.
Yep.
Well, I don't like to think. That was a weird way to put it. My conclusion is that, as a non-medical professional, I'm not a doctor, and nothing I have ever said was agreed upon by anyone ever. Don't try me at home. We're meant to be divided, because if all of us stopped bickering with each other and looked at the people causing the actual problems, we would accomplish something.
Yeah.
There's a vested interest in making sure that the people are divided.
Yeah.
A divided house cannot stand.
That's it. It's an illusion game. It's like a magician up on the stage saying, watch my right hand. Yeah, watch my right hand. And meanwhile, the left hand's taking money out of your pocket.
Exactly. And it's a big game. I've compared the whole system to like the WWE.
It is though.
I think that it's like the same thing. Like, it just seemed to be, you got your big celebrities, you got your bad guys and your good guys, and you're rooting for a team. Very Super Bowl mentality here. Yeah. They've taken Americans' love for sports and like the circus, and turned it to politics. We're not voting. We're not voting or supporting people because we like agree with them. We think they're cool, to paraphrase.
Yeah. I remember when politics was like C-SPAN back in the day. You'd come home from high school flipping through cable, and there was always C-SPAN. It was, oh God, no, quick, hurry up, get past those 3 channels of government stuff. We don't want to watch that.
Yeah.
C-SPAN, I used to watch that when I want to go to sleep. Find something good and boring.
But nowadays it is the politics has become almost a circus atmosphere. With these larger than life personalities who are always on display on TV saying either rational things or totally irrational things, and saying that we have to support irrational things and rational things at the same time, but you have to give us more money.
Double speak.
Yeah, Jay Creature, I'm not going to do that because one of those companies is also an affiliate of mine.
Mike will spin up like the Tasmanian Devils.
Yeah, and by the way, those water filters are phenomenal. That's the one that I bring on my solo hikes every time.
Top notch, man. Top notch.
Portable and
the best tasting water I've had out of any filter, hands down.
Yeah. This live stream has been sponsored by Grail Water Filters. Please make sure you check them out, folks. There's a link in the description down below.
Get your Grail. I don't care where it comes from. You should have one. You should have
they're
2,
good.
And you should have some extra filters. They're fantastic. If you're bougie, Prepping with Sarge has a link in the description section below.
That's
you
right.
can go pre-order your titanium GeoPress. Baby.
Can we get, now everybody's a big fan of this titanium nonsense. Can we get one of these things, and can I abuse it?
I already ordered one.
Can I break it?
You want to torture test
buy it from me, and then it's titanium. I mean, you can dent it. It's strong, but it's light, right?
What do they call? Is it Grail? Grail. If y'all run across this video, send me one of your titanium
Yeah.
filters, because let's see how tough this stuff is, because I'm getting a little tired of everything being titanium. I wonder.
It's a titanium tough.
I mean, because that's why you get it. It's light and tough, right? Well, let's see, especially something like a cylindrical shape of like a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna fill it with water and throw it at a sharp rock and see what happens.
So are you gonna do like Office Space, take it out into the woods with a baseball bat?
Well, yeah, because then all right. So if the preliminary tests don't work and it does stand up to it, now I have to find out what exactly I have to do to kill it.
Okay. If you do that baseball bat scene, I want you to do the music that goes with it too.
It might end up with a copyright issue. Some of these guys are sensitive.
Well, the Livingston man around here,
I
being that
make the music myself.
Yeah, all of it. So we don't worry too much about the copyright bug.
Also, my brother Patty Roach, well, your brother and mine, helps with the music around here. We have a little select clan of folks that we collab with on certain things. My man Papa Tank, I'm not sure he's here, but throwing a shout out anyway, bro.
Yeah.
We have fun here at Hudson Valley Prep and Survival. I like to think, and I'm going to use it appropriately this time, is that people need a little bit more of a laugh in your life. It's okay to be like, especially when stuff sucks. It's just get a laugh out of it wherever it is. Gallows humor, black comedy, whatever you want to call it. Lighten up, man.
Yeah.
We're all gonna die, but that's Wednesday. We got 4 days.
That's right. We got 4 days.
We still got time to party.
And that angry, sitting around all. No, come on.
Live it up.
Come on. Just laugh at something once in a while.
You guys do have a great live stream. If anybody from my audience has not been over there yet, you do need to check out their Wednesday night live streams. I usually have to catch it on replay because of some stuff that I got going on in my life, but it is definitely worth your time. They have a good time and may have arguably the best intro song in the game.
Yeah, original content.
It started with this silly. I was trying to learn how to play country music. It's not really where I came from. Maybe you notice my guitars and stuff in the background.
Yeah.
But I was trying to play this corny country music riff, and I was like, wow, that kind of sounds a little legit. I just built it up from there. I was an experienced, never made a country song before,
Yeah,
I don't think
that's our actual voices. In the song.
It does sound like the little bit in the beginning is like a little bit outlaw country. I can see that, the old.
I just told him it really needed some. I said, "What are people really afraid of?"
Mm-hmm.
And then I clicked. I was like, "Banjos. It needs some banjo."
Yeah, I can bring the Deliverance vibe, you're in the jungle now.
Yeah. And you guys got a giveaway coming up, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about the giveaway.
We're doing a fund drive for the MS Society.
Awesome.
And I personally have purchased over $1,500 worth of preparedness and survival gear, and I have packed it all into one amazing bug out bag from companies like Grail, Mickwick fire starters, Mora knives, Silky saws, all of the best stuff in there. Jetboil, if you name it, the Gucci gear, it's all in the bag. And
all of the best survival gear, all of the high-end stuff, the Lamborghini, Ferrari, all that, this is what's in this bag.
I've been stuffing it with gear, and now people are sending me more gear to put in the bag. So much so that I have had to create a second place, a third place, a fourth place, and now a fifth place. So 5 people are going to win, not just one. And it's fantastic, man. It's absolutely fantastic. And I'm trying to raise as much money as I can for the MS Society to help try and fight off MS. It's something that has touched somebody very near and dear to me's life. So I fight pretty hard for this one. So I'm trying to do all I can to raise all I can to help a little bit,
I love that. My Mrs. Sarge's best friend also has MS. So yeah.
Yeah,
appreciate you doing that.
It's quite a fight. And,
now there's I don't know if we have any mods in here. There's a link where you can donate to this, and a donation equals an
entry. Correct.
An entry.
Correct.
Okay.
Every donation of $20 equals an entry for the bug out bag giveaway, because there's certain words and things that you're not allowed to do across state lines. So we're calling it a giveaway, and an entry would be $20, and it would enter you for the giveaways. I think it's fantastic, man. I just had to find a way around the legalities of things, and I hopefully I got it all ironed out, and nobody's going to give me crap about giving money to the MS Society and giving somebody a really cool bug out bag. Please don't give me crap about it.
So if one of the mods, if one of you guys, or I don't know if any of my women mods are here, if you could, do you mind just popping over to their channel and grabbing that link and dropping it in chat? It'd be awesome.
Yeah,
really appreciate that.
We do a lot of folks have been donating to us directly on our live streams. And I know YouTube takes a percentage, but I'm going to give the full amount to the MS Society. Whatever you donate, I'm going to do that. We're also doing it through Venmo. I want to track it as much as I can to keep track of every single dollar that comes in. So we have a Venmo link, and then anytime we're live, you can go to the channel and donate there. It'll tell us immediately that somebody's donated, and I have everything all laid out there for me.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Cold War Prepper.
Yes, thank you so much, Cold War Prepper. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Cold War Prepper. Lee, you were awesome. New York City OG Prepper, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Hey, it's my pleasure to have these guys on. I should have done it a long time ago.
Good to see you, brother. Sorry, my eye is so itchy right now.
Pink guy, you know what's going on.
It's coming.
Trust me, I'm a doctor.
Jay Creature,
thank you so much. Appreciate you guys.
Inflation, you know, inflation being what it is. Jay Creature used to only give to 99 cents. Now it's $1.
He bestows more upon ye than
Cost
me.
Of living. Cost of living.
Oh goodness.
So I'll challenge Sarge if you do the $20. Yeah, I'll do it. I'm happy too. Yeah.
Come over Wednesday.
Yeah, stop into the live stream.
Let's all get together on Wednesday.
Into the live stream. I'd love to shout out the channel, share the link for anybody.
This kind of thing can turn into a telethon real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stop by on Wednesday. Get yourself in our thing legit.
We have one particular subscriber who really, really wants to win this bag. However, the same subscriber is very unselfishly giving $100 donations and then instructing me to give them away to folks in the chat, which is so awesome. It's not even funny.
Show up and show up for the live stream. You find yourself an entry anyway.
Eric, thank you so much for all you do for the MS Society. We really appreciate you, my friend.
Yeah, that is awesome. And let me add this too, since I'm pretty set on gear. So if my name is drawn, discard, go to the next person.
Right on.
After I do my answer.
Mike and I are not eligible anyway.
Yeah,
for some reason
I can't put my name in there.
You know.
Yeah, and I mean, most of us who are doing this channel stuff, like most of us have pretty good gear already. So
yeah,
I'd rather see it go to somebody who really needs it.
Yeah, I think there was somebody who donated who said if they won, they wanted to cherry pick 1 or 2 pieces of gear out of the bag and then redonate everything else to be given away yet again. So
that's awesome.
You understand how much work is going into this because of you guys? Yeah. Your kindness is killing us.
I love it though, man. The preparedness community is the best community I've ever been a part of. There's just so many great people. And everywhere you turn, you find more great people. Last year, I went to Vision Preparedness's bug out weekend in Ohio.
I was hoping you guys were going to bring this up. Yeah.
Oh man, so many awesome people out there. I got to meet Ghost Lincoln, the Virginia Bushcrafter, Mad Shad, Sister Marie's Kitchen. So many awesome people out there, and Vision Preparedness, and see something that we were doing kind of be recreated somewhere else in the country. It was very humbling. It was very humbling to see that happen.
Now, were you guys guest instructors too?
Yes.
What was your course?
I haven't been.
I taught the bug out bag course. So cool. they gave me the holy grail of preparedness, and the prepared Irishman told me if I screwed it up, he was going to cap my knee on the way out. So
and then he did. He comes back with footage of his bug out.
Yeah, I set the camera up and took a picture.
And he just took a picture. There's just no video, and I was like, so I kneecapped him. That's why he has to sit on the live stream.
So when is the next one? Is Vision here with us?
I'm not sure, but I know it's soon. He just changed the weekends on me. I knew when it was, and he changed the weekends. I think it's May 2nd.
Oh, it's coming up quick. Okay.
2nd through something like. Let me look at my calendar.
You guys got like a month, 3
I'll
weeks.
find it. Yeah, you don't have a lot of time, but I know registration is open for it. And if you guys go to his website, visionpreparedness.org, all of the information's in there, and you have to sign up in advance. Thank you, Virginia Bushcrafter. The 2nd through the 5th.
There it is. Okay. Cool. Yeah. And have you guys ever been down to Georgia Bushcraft?
No, I have not.
That's a really good time too. So that's the one that I don't know that I'm going to make it this year. It's fallen at a time when I've got another commitment.
Yeah.
But that's a really good time, and some of the best instructors that I've ever trained with are there. Carly Fairchild from Malone.
That's awesome.
That's where I met her. She taught me how to make bushcraft some rope in the woods.
Fantastic.
Out of leaves. Yeah. And oh man, there was so many people there. I learned how to, but I didn't master it, the hand drill. And we're still working on that. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Have you guys ever done that?
I'm a flint and steel guy all the way, man. All the way. And being a former smoker, the Bic lighter is my best friend.
Of course, you got to carry a lighter.
Yeah.
Like 10 of them.
10.
For nothing.
1 is none, 2 is 1, 3 for me, 4 is more, 5 keeps you alive.
Oh yeah.
I don't know where it goes after that.
Silly little essentials you can fit in your pockets. Just do it. Who cares? Like, and now I'm not like, okay, don't be that guy who has like 34 pocket knives strapped all over him. But like, a Bic lighter in this kit, a Bic lighter in that kit, a Bic lighter. Because you'll lose them, people steal them, whatever. You're going to have more. And they're also non-refillable.
It's true. It's
cheap,
true.
Affordable, whatever. Get a
dozen of them.
You can get the best fire starters in the world from MickWickFires.com.
Absolutely.
But without one of these, they won't work.
Yeah, they don't auto light, folks. They don't auto light.
Me and Mr. Wick, we're at odds about this. I'll stay needling him about it. What he needs to do, I have an idea. I'll give him the patent for it. I know what he's got to do. We just got to get on the phone. We got to get on the phone. We're going to do the Livingston Man edition of Mick Wick, and it's going to be groundbreaking.
So Penny Pinching Prepper just did a video about self-igniting fire starters and applying some chemistry there. You guys check that out.
Lower your voice. Never mind.
Sorry.
Good to meet you, Sarge.
I just stole the thunder. I'm sorry. Teach you the next Georgia Bushcraft is a spring one that's coming up in just a couple weeks. The fall one is the huge one. That's the, like, if I could get there, I'm going to try to get there.
Very cool.
Yeah. Just trying to see if I catch any. Hey, Sarge, Jay Creature is a snob. He wears $1,000 jacket.
Probably just disregard Creature and Hunter. They do their own thing.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's like Tinder for them.
Gotcha.
Both great people.
This way, sketchy stuff doesn't show up in their search history. You know what I'm saying? No, I totally was watching the Prepper channel. I swear, babe.
Yep. So, what do you? When you guys decided to get started on this stuff, was there? Did you guys do Boy Scouts and stuff like that? What got you going?
I did the Boy Scouts. Plus, I had the Vietnam vet father. And he had he was an Army Navy nut, right? And he had all this stuff, his boots and his stuff, his duffel bag that he brought home from the war. And as a little kid, I got into it and I play Army with the boys. I love Rambo, all this crap.
Yep.
Joined the Boy Scouts, and at the time, boys were more of boys than they are now.
Yeah.
So so it's about camping, being around fires, tying knots, doing the Boy Scout thing.
Fire and knives.
Yeah, and it turned into playing paintball, doing stuff like this, and you end up with this clique, this group around you of people, and you become like-minded, and you start camping out together, being in the outdoors together, and being an outdoors person kind of goes hand in hand, and especially the Boy Scout motto, "Be prepared."
Yep.
Well, it's in the name. It grows on you. It's instilled in you young. New people to this, it's really easy to go down a rabbit hole of being super right on the cutting edge. Everything is new. Everything is proverbially digital. smart, all this, and taking the work out of it, when honestly, like the old, like tried and true ways are just the best. And you should always start there on your journey. I'm fortunate enough to have been able to do that. I used to have to get yelled at by some fat kid in the Boy Scouts who couldn't run 20 feet, but he knew how to tie them knots. And so he had me there, he had me there. And you learn the stuff and you take it with you through life.
Yeah. It starts a little fire inside of you, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And the ones the ones that are into it will stick with it, and the ones that aren't won't, and it is what it is. And
my outdoors experience was more hunting related. My uncle used to take us out on hunting trips all the time, fishing trips, camping trips. And that's where I found my love for the outdoors, really. And the preparedness thing, man, it was something I hadn't really thought about for a long time. And my good friend, the old mutt, he looks at me and he says, man, all this stuff that you're worried about happening, what are you going to eat when all this happens? He says, there ain't going to be no grocery stores. None of that. What are you going to do?
Chow down on that ammo.
Yeah. And I was like, man, there's a lot more to this than just, being able to protect yourself. This is so much bigger than that. That's only like a very small piece of the preparedness puzzle. And I am seriously lacking. So I kind of kicked it into overdrive and did the foolish things and bought all the gimmicky stuff first, and that's kind of what set me on my preparedness path. But it was before the pandemic that I really started to knuckle down, and then kind of seeing that coming before it got here. It freaked me out, Sarge. Freaked me out, to see this thing coming and to tell your family, hey guys, listen, there's something coming. Yeah. I need you to go get a little bit of extra food for the baby, get some extra diapers, get some extra wipes. And they're like, dude, you're so full of conspiracy theories. And I was like, bro, please, I'll go buy it for you. If you don't have the money, I'll go do it. But I just want to make sure you have it. Yeah. And
I can physically
that's what really did it for me.
Mike was like, he was calling all his friends like, no, what do you need?
Yeah, get everything in order now, because I don't know what's coming or how long it's going to be here.
He's driving and traveling all over the place, acquiring these items that people needed, wanted, like wish they had, like, or he thought they should have, and he was like delivering them in the night to like people's houses. I'm not exaggerating.
Well, I did. I felt responsible for people,
Yeah,
especially being the prepared individual. And
those of us that he helped call him Saint Michael the Protector.
That's great.
Full of it.
Yeah. So the sad thing is, right? Like we literally saw people fist fighting over toilet paper, right?
Yeah.
And here we are, we're only 4 years separated from it, and everybody that was like, okay, wow, this is important. Like we should be a little bit more prepared. A lot of those people are just like back in fantasy la la land. Like,
yeah, but I tell you what, you look in their pantry, there is paper towels and toilet paper. You bet your sweet bippy, it's in there. It's in there. Yep.
Not doing that again.
The food, the grocery stores are still open, but I got TP for days.
There were some things that I actually come to find out in retrospect. Captain Hindsight, being who he is there were some things I liked about the social etiquette they implied. Like I really like the 6 feet
personal space. Yeah, personal space.
Anymore, okay, anybody like feel me, right? I know you will, right? Now you go to the grocery store and everybody don't know how to act in the aisle. When they used to be, they had arrows on the floor and everybody was like, I gotta follow the arrows, and like honestly it worked, didn't it? Admit it worked.
Yeah.
And so some of that stuff, looking back, I chuckle. It's like some of those ideas, I promise you, weren't that bad.
No, really not.
When they stuck grandma in a nursing home was when I was like, that's not what I was thinking though.
Yeah.
And all that other, authoritarian, utter thumb right on your head, holding you down.
I know.
That they then implied. Listen, arrows on the grocery store floor was good enough, but then y'all went,
went full
crazy.
It
was. Yeah, I agree. I think that in retrospect, there's a lot of things that we could have done better. And we know a lot of people who lost their business here,
Yeah.
That's the heartbreak. And some of them you can't come back from it.
There's no recovery. Yeah.
It takes in general can't come back from it.
Yeah. So, Mrs. Sarge and I we're both about 50. And, it took us to basically late 40s to be able to be in a position to start our own businesses.
Mhm.
And had she bought a storefront right before that, we'd be bankrupt. We would have lost our house,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
It's scary.
it's bad.
scary.
Yeah.
And you of course, you as somebody, we want to point fingers and blame someone something. And I mean, there's two culprits here that I guess is the affliction itself,
Mhm.
or our and government's response to it. And I think that our and government's response to it possibly outweighs the harm that would have been caused by it alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Hindsight 2020, right?
Yep.
Right. And so, I mean, what good does that do to say, hey, hopefully what we learned is that, okay, let's not do it like that again.
I hope
Yeah.
so. All right, we're gonna get close to start to wind this one down. I did want to hit on one more big topic that we talked about backstage.
You got it.
Yeah. So and then we're gonna try to get this one closed off by 9, everybody, because Sarge wants to go watch the Iowa game. And
Got it.
I brought home pizza, so I'm ready for that.
watch Miss Caitlin rain down some threes. It's gonna be awesome.
My daughter has been going crazy about that chick. She's running out of her room. She put up 40.
Yeah, I mean, she's
like amazing female basketball player.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
incredible.
Like a once in a lifetime female basketball player. Like,
yeah.
I've seen talk of her like that. Why
the female Michael Jordan?
Well,
pretty much.
People are at this point explain why she doesn't play in the actual NBA.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably a whole nother discussion. I mean, yeah, there's a physicality to the NBA that I think is hard to overcome, but I do think you'll at some point in the future you're going to see women breaking into MLB, and maybe some other sports. But some of these female softball pitchers, they can throw 90 plus. It's underhand, but guess what? In Major League Baseball, we have submarine pitchers. It's not that big of an adaptation to go from that to that.
So I saw some weirdo pitching all sidearm in a highlight. I was like, wow, I
just
would never
about touch
be able to
the
hit
ground,
that
man.
ball. Like, goodness gracious.
Yeah, and there's been 2 female hockey players that have made it to the highest level under NHL. So eventually that barrier is going to get broken. So, go ahead. Sorry.
Do you think then that so there's a double standard here? If I want to go play field hockey, I'm like just some dude that wants to beat up chicks.
Yeah.
But when Miss Caitlin wants to dominate the NBA, dunk on Shaq,
we can't have that.
Well, no, that's what's up. I mean, and I'm all for that.
Yeah. So,
but I am going to have to point out the double standard there.
Sure.
As I'm wearing this coat, which means I have to.
So I did martial arts. I don't know if you guys ever did any training in martial arts, but
a little bit.
Most schools will have the men and women train together, right? And then even sparring, is together. In fact, one of the worst kicks I took was from a female classmate that was a 3rd-degree black belt. She hit me in the liver. Oh. Man, I was nauseous for about 18 hours. It was brutal. But then you get to UFC and there's no men versus female, right? So it's like it gets to a certain level. And then, I don't know, like Ronda, when she was at her peak, Ronda Rousey, could she have beaten a lot of the guys in the UFC? I want to say she probably could have. Yeah.
Yeah. She was one tough chick.
I think that there's a real possibility that men are somewhat programmed to hold back.
For sure.
So I don't think that in a true UFC thing, perhaps, I mean, I ain't no expert on this. I just wear the jacket.
So my sensei was a female.
A man would be at a disadvantage versus a woman, I think.
Yeah. So Livingston, man, my sensei was a female, and she pulled me. So I was raised. One of the big things in my household, I had 2 older sisters. Was my dad told me you never hit a woman, right? Like that was going to be. I was basically he'll put me back to where I came from.
It's a sin. It's a sin.
Yeah. You do not do that, right? And so that was drilled into me. Then years later, I'm in this class with all these women, and the teacher is a 5th-degree black belt. And she pulls me aside after class and she says, "You're holding back." And I said, "Well, yeah, I don't want to hurt the ladies." And she said, "These ladies are here to train so that if some guy out on the street tries to hurt them, they're gonna know what to do. I need you to show them your strength. And so I had to get over it.
That's a very important lesson.
For many people, that would be, for normal people, that would be an obstacle that, I think you'd have to get over.
Yeah.
I don't do the whole like slap your wife around thing. People that do that should be dealt with by properly trained women who can show them what it really
slapping
means.
around really means.
That's
yeah, right. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So, anyways, we got off on a little tangent there, but the topic I wanted to hit was the Bohemian Grove. So,
been there.
The Livingston man. I heard you snuck in there.
I didn't snuck in. I got hired.
Oh,
I was a head security. Perhaps some of your viewers don't actually know this, but I'm not actually a human. I'm programmed to look and act somewhat like one. But I'm
Gotcha.
Mike bought me at a Russian military surplus auction in Tajikistan. And then he had, I've been somewhat reprogrammed. Some of the original stuff is still there, but so I'm not actually a real person. I'm what you call an android, a Russian bot. So it was easy enough to infiltrate Bohemian Grove because I was assigned to the Russian delegate that was there as their security. I don't.
What can you tell
what
us then?
they're doing there is just weird. It's like if satanic burning, man.
Yeah. it's weird.
Complete with all
weird
that
crap.
entails. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So for anyone who doesn't know, let's clarify this a little bit. So for anybody who's never heard of Bohemian Grove, it's somewhere in the Pacific Northwest, right? Where it's this like elite private, for lack of a better word, campground, right?
Yeah.
And you can't just go there. Like you have to be invited.
Mm-hmm.
And past presidents have been there, Hollywood stars, Fortune 500 CEOs. Like this is, I don't personally believe in the Illuminati. I believe there are people who ruled the world. I don't think they call themselves the Illuminati.
Right.
But if there was an Illuminati, this is about as close as you're going to get to it.
Yeah, this is the place that they would hang out at.
Yeah. And so Alex Jones, somebody had mentioned in there, Alex Jones snuck in. He was the first one to do it, but now several people have snuck in. And they do this thing there. Like, so you have like these ultra elite people walking around, some of them naked. They're like walking around naked all weekend, doing drugs. They fly in prostitutes for them. And
Burning Man you wish you could go to. I'm telling you, the drugs alone.
Well, but then this is the part where most people be like, I'm out. It's the weekend starts off with, they do a ritual, and everybody gathers around this statue of a giant owl, and they sacrifice. It's not a real child, but it's like a doll.
A euphemism,
effigy. And the owl talks.
Yeah, and the owl talks.
It broadcasts strange messages to the believers. It's
and
like the Mothman.
Now I've been to some weird stuff, right? So I was in a fraternity. We had our own rituals and stuff. And if you were in Boy Scouts, we had a secret society there too, right? The Order of the Arrow, and they have their rituals, right? But,
Arrow of Light. Oh, I was
I was
one of them.
Yeah, so they have their own secret rituals and stuff.
Been around, Sarge. I know about the secret society.
Right?
Started by half of them anyway.
But if I was at one of these things and I see somebody sacrificing a doll of a child and people are worshiping a giant owl, like, I'm out, like this is some weird crap. What the heck do you think they're doing there?
Drugs.
Lots of drugs.
Killer drugs. We're talking people who money is nothing to these folks.
Oh yeah.
There is debauchery to the nth degree. Okay, just complete, utter Roman Empire degeneracy. Okay, I seen it. I was there.
Yeah,
disgusted.
I wonder if
Bill Gates threw up in a champagne glass and expected me to take it. From him.
you had to do it. You had to do it.
I couldn't break cover.
Yeah.
I wonder if these places are for some of the folks who they have the dirt on already, to gather up some of the folks that they don't quite have the dirt on yet.
Jay
And,
Creature, I can get you in.
Yeah.
And get the dirt on them, you know.
Yeah. So like blackmail material later on, like, so, you know,
Well, it
basically,
seems like that might be what the Mr. Diddy with the keys to New York City may have been doing as well. You know, kind of blackmailing people, putting them in compromising positions, and you know, they got cameras everywhere nowadays, so everything's on video. Just saying.
So that comes out of the KGB playbook, right? Like that, you know, here, Livingston man, come to this party, right? Oh, hey, you know, here, try this, you know, have a little bit of this too. Oh, hey, we got 3 girls over in this room that are waiting for you. Go back there. Now there's cameras in this room, right? You do your thing, and then they say, oh, by the way, one of those girls was underage. You know, we got you, and oh, we got you on film, right? And so now they own you for the rest of your life. They own you. You got to do whatever they say.
I do believe that's part of the agenda. I thought with the my boy Jeffrey there that I found it immediately strange that he seemed to be very adamant about taking a picture with everyone that came to his house. Now, of course, then when celebrities show up, maybe you're going to try to get a selfie. So let's give them that. But it seemed like they needed to really, really make a point that, like, look, this guy's here now. And and the whole like censorship, surveillance, this opens another thing. In your house that you own, that you've invited, maybe not the general public, but you're having an event nonetheless. What's the difference between having cameras in your house, having cameras in the nightclub? Ring cameras, blink cameras, they're a thing. I have them.
Oh yeah.
Now, does it now boil down to? I think that P. Diddy here, any of these people, has the right to the surveillance.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's a real gray area, but what about what you do in front of that surveillance?
Yeah.
And now blackmail, of course, being illegal.
Yeah.
But apparently not unethical anymore. Huh?
Well, there's a really gray
legally gray.
So I don't know what to think about this P. Diddy thing, and then I conclude that actually this doesn't matter to me at all.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Good. Sorry for the victims. Yeah.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Of course.
Otherwise, this is not a reason to prep. This is not a reason to point at the Illuminati and the satanic elites and stuff. This is just some guy who had cameras in the bedroom and like did weird stuff with it.
Yeah. That sounds like something the Illuminati would say.
Lower your voice.
Oh man.
So anyway, the last point I wanted to make on this was there's a YouTuber that snuck in there recently, and his name's Dancer One or something like that. People can look this up. It's on YouTube. And what was really interesting is, so you guys, you know, you're outdoors people like me, so we know what it looks like when like a building's been overgrown, right? When, and like what 1 year looks like, what 2 years looks like, and what 20 years looks like. This place now looks like nobody's been in there since COVID. Like there's guards there that are living on the property, but like the areas where like people would be going to the rituals and stuff like
nobody's been there.
It's dilapidated and it's overgrown with like vines and stuff like that.
Interesting.
I think it's probably pre-pandemic is when the last time there was something there. Now, are they still meeting? Probably.
Well, you know, it became so high profile that the secret society really wasn't such a secret anymore. So it might be time to
they
take
found a new
those
location
secrets someplace a little more private.
So they, went underground.
Yeah.
Tighten, what do you call that? Like, tighten the ranks, circle the wagons. Real ones only apply. And what do they actually do besides like their secret societies and their ambiguity alone breeds suspicion.
Of course.
Conspiracy. It's my favorite.
Conspiracy. And I think that there's a bit of like that works for them because they kind of allow people to think one thing, but they're like, guys, man, we're not even.
We have no idea. Yeah, we have no idea.
We're not even, but let them think that because then they're not looking at what we're actually doing.
Yeah. Here's my guess is that some of it is like, the now we own you kind of thing. I think that at some of this stuff, there's some business discussions going on. So like you've got maybe a legislator meeting with a CEO of a military industrial complex, and they're trying to decide if they're going to get the tank contract, as an example. I think it's that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
These are huge elites. They all know each other. Why I compare things to the WWE, because when the show's over, they all go sit down and have dinner together, and it's all buddy and whatever. But when the cameras are on, it's got to be different.
Yeah.
But then, of course, in any little society, a clique of people, disagreements will arise and rivalries and so forth. And that's where I think these celebrity scandals come from. Like P. Diddy literally just made like Tom Hanks pissed. And so Tom Hanks unleashed like some allegations. You've heard of career suicide? This is career murder.
Yeah. Well, they all know each other and they're all buddy until one of them gets busted, and then it's like, oh, they're
Yeah, I
not.
didn't like that guy anyway.
I always knew he was trouble.
Damage control then kicks in, and we talk about the truth a lot. The unfortunate fact is you ain't never gonna know the truth.
Yeah,
you're gonna know what they told you.
That's the sad truth.
You get to know what they told you.
Patty Roach, I would venture that there's a lot of the same players.
But they all, their daddies was all skull and bones, but they weren't good enough. They didn't go to college.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you and I would discuss a business deal, right? Over perhaps a beer at a bar. Right. Perhaps they're just so elite that this is their cool bar.
That's their bar.
I feel like it's not even.
It's like, hey guys, we're gonna go out. Let's do it real freaking weird and
Grove,
freak
man.
everybody out.
Let's get weird, man.
Yeah. It would be funny though if like somebody at that event was so intoxicated on alcohol and drugs that like while the ritual is going on, that they just like stumbled up to the stage and like knocked over something, and then the owl catches on fire.
I got something I want to tell you. I just everyone of you guys.
Yeah. That would be great. Man. That would be awesome.
I love you guys.
Yeah, this channel's getting banned. Like they're shutting this thing down tomorrow.
Mic drop.
Won't be seeing old Sarge anymore.
Oh man.
Somebody's got to do it. We respect one of us in the wreckage, brother.
Yeah, well, I want to say before we wind this down, then that I am a very happy person. I would never self-harm.
No.
And as far as I know, Mike and Livingston Man are also very happy people.
Yes, we are very, very happy people. We love our lives.
My programming allows me no other emotion.
I look forward to living to 153.
Yeah.
Prophecy.
All right, guys. What do you let's start to wind this down. What do you guys got coming up for projects? Anything you want to shout out?
We're still working. We got to get a work party together to get back to our old event location and do some reclaiming of the woods. We actually have to quite literally build a road back there at this point. So that's my future workload. I really want to get the
I gotta clear about like an acre, I'll call it.
Yeah, the event space open again so that we can start hosting the Bug Out Bag weekends again. Awesome. We've been given the property to do it on. We just have to get a path cleared all the way back there. So we got some work on our plate, and but we have a great group of people, and everybody's always willing to help, whether it's finances or just coming out and lending some hands, which is what we really, really need to get this thing put together so that folks can come out and keep practicing with their gear. It's the one thing I want to stress to everybody. You have all this survival gear. Please, please, please go practice with it. Even if it's in your yard, set it up, do it in the worst weather you could think of. Do it when it's pitch black, do it in the middle of the day.
Take it out of plastic and make sure it's not broken before the emergency happens.
Yeah.
Worst thing that happens is like you got a survival kit, throw it brand new in the plastic stuff, and half of it's broken in the mail. You didn't even notice, man.
Yep. Got to get out there. Got to do the things, guys. You got to do the things.
You don't want to compass the reed south.
Right.
That's right.
You're going to want to know how to use this stuff. You ain't going to be reading no directions in the nuclear apocalypse. Okay. You need to get it going now.
Exactly.
All right. Well, let me wrap up with, I always end with something positive. So today, what I want to say to everybody that's listening is, stay informed, stay prepared, develop your skills, and develop your support group. Have an emergency plan and have your supplies ready, and you can survive challenging times. Remember, you are always stronger than any storm. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having us, Sarge. It was an awesome stream, man. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll do it again. We'll do it again. Or if you guys want me to come on your stream, I'm more than happy to do that. I just have to.
Absolutely.
We are all gonna die on
Wednesday.
But not Monday. On Wednesday.
That's right.
Wednesday.
Thank you, everybody, for in the chat. You guys were awesome. I loved all the funny comments and the questions and everything. I really appreciate everybody.
Thank you for having us, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. And if you're here from Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival and you don't know Prepping with Sarge, you have to hit the subscribe button. Make sure when you do, you hit the bell icon and select all notifications. Sarge has got great content and he's been pumping it out for years, guys.
Appreciate
show
that.
some love to Sarge, please.
Yeah, same for my audience. Make sure you all checking out Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival on YouTube and Instagram, and if you're on Facebook as well, give them a follow.
Just type
always
that long name into the thing, and we'll pop up somewhere.
Yeah, you came up first. As soon as I looked, it was right there.
Woo-hoo!
All right, everybody, have a great weekend. Don't forget to watch the Iowa game. Keep planting your seeds. Keep stacking your silver. This is Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival and Prepping with Sarge. Have a great weekend, folks.
Take care, guys.